Hey folks, welcome back. So you might notice that I don't post every single day. There are some of these puzzles that I don't get solved. So I haven't posted it, but my son said that it would be still educational and fun if I were to post it if I still don't get it solved. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to give myself 30 minutes, and if I don't solve it, I'm going to stop and I'll post it at 30 minutes. So to try that, today we've got a hard puzzle, very hard puzzle, which means that there's probably going to be some crisscross solutions. There's going to be some solutions that require looking at both horizontal, vertical, and the cubes all at the same time. And there's going to be a very difficult pattern at the end that usually gets me hung up. So we're going to give it a go and see what we can find. So I noticed the fours at first here. I got a 4 in the top, 4 through the middle, 4 through the center. So that's going to be a 4 for me. All right. And this is symmetrical, so normally when you see one thing, you can find it in another spot. So there's a pair of 4s here, there's a pair of 4s right here, middle and bottom, and then we have a 4 in the left. So there we are. Now here we've got a 4 in the left, 4 through the center, one spot left for the 4s, and see this symmetry matches over here, 4 in the right, 4 down the center. Now with all these 4s, we now have a 4 in the left, the top, the bottom, and the middle. So this is the only spot left for a 4. So these pairs, I notice a pair of 6s here, 6 through the middle and the bottom. Just one spot left for that. Alright, I do see a pair of 7s, top and bottom, right and left. Just one spot left for the 7 there. Alright, I do have a 7 down the right and a 7 across the top. This is where we're using both vertical and horizontal. Now we have a 7 down the right, 7 through the center, 7 through the top. Only spot left for a 7. Now you'll see I've got, with this 4 here, now I've got the same thing with 7s here. 7 in the left, 7 down the right, 7 in the top, 7 through the middle. Only one spot left for the 7. Now I do have a 1 that goes across this top here, so it tells me that a 1 has to go here. Okay, so now I have a ghost row of a 1, which also tells me then that this has got to be a 1. Now I see I've only got 2 numbers missing here. It's a 1 and a 2, it looks like. Does that look right? So let's mark those while we're doing that. Alright. Okay. Nope, this one, oh, there we go. See, I missed that. I don't even know why I put a 2 there. If that's a 1 and a 2, there's my 2. This can only be a 1, and that makes this one a 2. I missed the cube there, folks. Alright. Okay, now I have a 2 across the top, 2 across the bottom, so we know that this one has to have a 2 somewhere here in the middle. We do have a pair of 3s here, 3 across the top, 3 across the middle, 3 through the center. I hit a 3 there. I fat-fingered the wrong number. Okay, I see a pair of 5s again, vertical and horizontal, to give me just one spot for the 5 to go. Alright. Got 2 numbers missing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like I need an 8 and a 9, and I do have a 9 there, so there's my 8, and there's my 9. Now I have a 9 across the bottom, 9 across the middle, 9 down the right, 9 through the left. Only spot left for a 9 there. Okay. Alright. Just looking at the pairs, I've got 2 numbers missing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need a 5 and a 9. Well, I do have a 5 to help me out here. So this one has to be a 5. This one has to be a 9. Okay, we do have a 5 across the bottom, 5 down the right. So I know that these 2 have to be a 5. Okay. Alright. I've got 3 numbers missing here. 9 comes up, so I know my 9 has to be in one of these 2 spots. Let's see, I need a 1. Now my 1 can't be here, so I know my 1 has to be here somewhere. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I need a 6 somewhere, and that's going to be here somewhere. Now I do have a 6 that comes across, and a 6 up the right side. So that tells me that one of these two has to be a 6. Okay, so I do have a nice ghost row there to help me out a little bit. Alright, alright. Got 3 numbers here missing. 9, we need an 8, which can be anywhere. 7, 6, 5 could be here or here. I do have a 5 across the bottom and a 5 through the center, so it could be either one of these two spots. 4, 3, 2, and I need a 1. Alright, now I do have a 3, a pair of 3s, so one of these two is a 3, and I have a 3 here. That tells me this one's my 3. Now I have a 3 in the left, 3 through the center, and a 3 through the bottom. That tells me this one here is a 3. Now I have a 3 across the top, 3 across the bottom. That tells me this one here is a 3. Now I've only got 2 numbers missing here, and that looks like a 2 and a 6 from this cube here. So a 2 and a 6, a 2 and a 6. Alright, so that helps us out here a little bit, because now we have a 2 that comes down here, and 2 has to be in one of these 2 spots. But it can't be here, so in this row it has to be in one of these 2 spots. And then I think we're missing an 8, which could be either one of those 3 spots. Okay. Now we're missing 3 numbers here. We're missing a 1, and that could go anywhere. We're missing a 2, and that can go in these 2 spots. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we need a 9. And a 9 cannot go here, but it could go in one of these 2, like that. Okay. Alright, we got 3 numbers missing here. We need a 1. Don't have anything to help with that. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we've got our 5, 6, 7. No help on the 8. Okay, I think I already counted that one out like that. Okay. Now up here in this top cube, this top row, I need a 1. And it can't be here because we know one of these two is a 1. We got this ghost row here. So this one or this one have to be a 1. Okay, and then we need a 2, and a 2 can't be here. Oh, we've got a 2 right there. There's our 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need an 8 and then a 9. Okay, and our 9 can't be here, but our 9 could be here. So we'll throw that in there just to be safe. Okay. Alright, let's take a look at the center cube just a little bit more. We've got our 9, we have an 8 that comes through the middle, 7, okay, no 6 in the right or the center, 5, no 5 in the bottom, no 5 in the center, okay, only 1 spot left for our 5. Now that helps us with the 5 here. This one cannot be a 5 anymore. That makes this a 5, and that makes this one a 5. Okay, we'll clean up our pencil marks. Alright, so now we just have 2 numbers missing. That's our 1 and our 8. Okay. Alright. Okay, let me come back here to look at these numbers again. Alright, so we have a 9. Okay, now this 8 comes through the center, which tells me that one of these 2 have to be the 8 in this cube, which means this cannot be an 8 because of these 2, and this can't be an 8 because of these 2. So the 8 has to be one of those. So it also tells us 8 can't be here as well. Okay, alright, so that's good. So we do need a 1, which could be here, here, or here. Let's see here, we need a 2. So we got a 1, a 2, and what's the other number? And a 6 that we're missing? Okay, and the 6 cannot be in the center or the right. So the 6 has to be one of these two. Alright, so let's hold off on those just yet. Well, we know one of these two have to be the 6. Is that? No, one of these two have to be the 6. Okay, let's hold off just one moment here. Let's see here. What are the two numbers we're missing here again? 1 and 8. I'm getting to the point where I need to jot down all these numbers here, or I'm going to get myself confused a little bit. Okay, let's just start here in the top, and we'll go down and we'll get them all numbered. Okay, so we've got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now the 6 can't be across the top, but the 6 can be these 3. So let's just mark them. Right? Okay, 6, 7. Now I need an 8. Now an 8 can be any one of these. I don't have anything that can stop them, any of them from being an 8. Now, and then we have our 9 identified right here. So that's fully marked out. Okay. So in this cube, I need a 1, and that can be anywhere. 1, 1, 1. Okay, my 2 has to be here. 3, 4, 5. Okay, now my 6 has to be here in one of these two spots. My 7. Now what about my 8? I don't have anything that can stop them from being an 8. Okay, and then there's my 9. Okay, that one's fully marked out. We need a 1, which can be here, or here, or here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I need an 8. Okay, now it can't be in the center, but it can be everywhere else, right? I don't think I have anything that can stop those like that. Okay, and then I need a 9, and it can't be down here, but it could be up here. Okay, I think that looks right. Okay, let's move here to this one. We've got our 1. Now I need a 2, and it can't be in the center. So 2 can be like this. 3, 4, 5. I need a 6, and that can be everywhere, I believe. 7, and then I need an 8, which we already identified 8 had to be up here because it can't be here or here. Okay. Alright, so here in this row we need a 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. That can be anywhere. We need a 2. Don't have any help on the 2s. 3, 4, 5. We need help on the 6, which I think we have. It just can't be here in this right one or in the center. So the 6 has to be in one of these two. Okay, so that's important because that 6 has to be in one of these two. Okay, 7, and we already have our 8 and our 9. Okay, so those two are all done. This one here now, we need a 1, so that has to be here or here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we need an 8. Now an 8 can't be on the bottom, so 8 and 8. Alright, there we go. I'm still looking for that crisscross pattern here. Haven't run into it just yet. Okay, so the last cube here, we need a 1, which cannot be in the middle. 1, 1, 1. There we go. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now 8 cannot be across the bottom. So 8 has to be either here or here. And then our 9 has to be across the bottom. Okay, perfect. So we have everything marked out now. And now we can look for some eliminations. Okay. All right. So there's this is where I get stuck with these hards and these very hards, there is a rectangle pattern. Like, see this 2 and 8 that I'm on, right? And then this 2 and an 8, and this 1 and an 8, and these 8s and 9s. This is the pattern that I have a hard time finding. I don't know if that's the pattern or not. But there is a pattern that's usually a square or a rectangle that if I choose this number, it will cascade, to go to solve some numbers, and then I will miss. One way it will work and one way it won't. You got these 1s and 8s. One has to be an 8, one has to be a 1. And so they will, somehow, I've got to find this square that breaks if I don't do it just right. Okay, so let me look at these patterns here. If you guys see it, feel free to leave some comments. I had another person that left some comments that really helped me out on another previous game. And this is really where it just gets down to, I just got to practice more. I watch other people play the games and see their strategies and their solutions for looking for patterns. And sometimes I catch it. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I just miss it. So my brain is getting caught on this 1 and 2 where my cursor's at here, because I got a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 2, 1 and a 2, 1 and a 2, and an 8, and a 1 and 2. I wonder if this 1 and 2 and 8 would see, and this is how I got to do it. My brain can't handle all the numbers, so I get a piece of paper, and then all I do is I guess one way. I don't write it in the solutions just yet, but I'm like, if this is a 1, how does that affect it? And I say, okay, well, if it works, all right, so if that's a 1, then the bottom one's going to be a 2, and the middle one's going to be an 8. Okay, so that one's going to be a 2, and that's a 1, a 2. So those two are 6s and 8s. 6s and 8s. Which makes that a 1, which makes, okay, so right there, that actually solved it. So see this pattern right here? If this is a 1, that makes this a 2. So if I take out the 1s and 2s, that make these 6s and 8s, which means there can't be a 6 or an 8 up here. Okay, so if this is, right, if this is a 1, did I do it wrong? I think I did it wrong. No, I didn't. If this is a 2, yep, see, I think I wrote it wrong. No, I did this one. I did this one first. If I did this as a 1, see, I got to remember how I write this. If I did this one here as a 1, right here, this one, that would make this a 2. That would eliminate the 1s and 2s. That would make these 6s and 8s, right? Now, if this is a 1, that makes this a 2. If the 6s and 8s are gone, that makes this a 1, which makes this a 2, because you can't have an 8, and you can't have a 1, so that would make this a 2. And that 2 and that 2 won't work. Can't have both of those as 2s. So this one right here cannot be a 1, because if that's a 1, and this is a 2, 6s and 8s, that makes that a 1, that makes that a 2. But if this is a 1, that makes it 2. So that's the kind of a pattern in these harder ones. I don't know what you call that. I wish there was an easier way for me to recognize those patterns. But that's kind of how I see, and I got to use a little piece of paper to help my brain out. But that tells me this cannot be a 1, so that has to be an 8, which makes this one a 2, which makes this one a 1. And then we just go through with it. Alright, so we clean up some numbers. If this is my 8, well then this one is my 1. If this one is my 2, then this one is my 8. Okay, I've already got the 1, so a 9 has to go here, and the only number left here, if I clean up my 1 and my 9, is a 2. Alright, now that I have my 8 here, it's going to come up here, and it's going to say this can't be an 8 anymore. That's going to be our 1. And if it's not a 8 or a 1, the only number left here is a 9. And then here's our 8. Alright, now if this is an 8, that makes this one a 1, which makes this one a 9. Alright, so this is where I have a lot of pencil marks to clean up. So I'm going to, because I'm going to take the time. Let's take a moment here. Let's clean up my pencil marks. I've got a 9 here, so let me clean that up. I got a 1 here, so let me clean up my 1s. Okay, now this can't be 3 numbers because I've already got my 2, so let me clean up my 2s. Alright, so now you see right here, this is the only spot a 6 can go. Alright, so there's our 6, and then this is a 6, and this has got to be our 8. Okay, so then we clean up my 8. Now I already have a 1 down here, so that makes this one our 2, which makes this one our 1. Now if this is a 2, this makes this one our 6, that makes this one our 2. Alright, now I've already got a 2 and a 6, so the only number left here is our 1. And I've got a 1 and a 6, so that's the only number left here is a 2. Alright, so these are now 6s and 8s. I'm going to clean up my 2, 6s and 8s. Now I have a 1 here, so the only spot in this cube for a 1 is going to be right here. Now I'm going to clean up my 1. I got 6s and 8s, 6s and 8s. I'm going to clean up my 1 here, and my 1, and my 1, because we already have it. Alright, now here in this column, it's a 2 or an 8, but it can't be a 2. So there's our 8. Now this 8 is going to come on over and cascade. This is now my 6, and my 8, and my 6, and my 8. 8 comes over here is our 6, and the last number missing is a 2. So there you are, folks. We were able to get to the very end using both horizontal, vertical, and cube eliminations. I thought I saw a crisscross pattern in there somewhere, but I didn't catch it there at the end. We resolved it without it. But that last little pattern is still catching me up, but we were able to find it this time. So thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free, please, leave comments, suggestions, and challenges. I enjoy them all. And thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.